Welcome to another episode of Sci-Fi Frontier. I'm Dominic with my co-host,
Wally.
And today we're going to be talking about episodes 2 and 3 of Star Trek Discovery, Trainwreck to the Stars.
You're not far off on that one, let me tell you.
So we'll start off with episode 2. So what was your overall thoughts episode 2?
Oh my god, I just hate this show the more and more I watch it. I just don't like the show. It's continuously uninteresting. You just don't want to watch this stuff. I literally I'd rather play on my phone or take a nap rather than watch this show. I mean, we did do 2 episodes back to back, and wow, again, I can't fathom how bad this show is. It's just no continuity, nothing. They're trying to blend everything and then try and say it's part of the whole universe, and it's just not. They're just not doing it. Nothing is setting in the proper way this should be laid out. Not at all.
So just to give a quick rundown, so we're going to pick these 2 episodes apart, so spoiler warning if you haven't seen them. So basically the second episode, they receive another signal from these red, whatever they are, red things, and they end up using the spore drive again to jump to far end of the Beta Quadrant, and they find a planet that's full of humans.
Against Starfleet's recommendations after having decommissioned the spore drive.
Yes, after having decommissioned the spore drive. And so they go down, but Pike decides that they can't interfere with these humans because they're pre-warp. Which, that part I'll talk about later. And so anyway, then they realize that this planet is headed for an extinction level event because debris is going to crash on the planet. So then they use the matter from the exotic dark matter asteroid and use the gravity from that to slingshot all the debris away from the planet, saving the colony. And basically that's how the episode goes. And then at the end of it, Pike reveals to the one guy that he is from Earth, and Earth survived the Third World War, and they have advanced technology. He trades them the power cell for a helmet that has a camera on it that took images of when they were originally transported from Earth to this planet by some alien force. So the one thing that bugged me about this episode is these people are human and they're not alien, so I don't think the Prime Directive would count.
You're not far off. I mean, yeah, we're still in the same context of they're not exposed to the type of technology that Discovery is, so yeah, okay, I can understand that to a degree, but if they were abducted by aliens and they saw them,
yes,
then they know that they've been exposed to some type of more advanced technology. So why would that make such a big deal? Now, I forget how long they even said that
200 years.
200 years. So they've been evolving for 200 years on this planet. Okay, but do they...
Yeah, because it's not an alien, because the way I always understood it only counted to alien civilizations. They never interfered with primitive aliens. They always kept watch, but this is like a human colony.
Yeah, this is just... again, 200
so
years. So
technically they would be rescuing humans that were stranded on this planet, or taken and put there and planted there for some reason by something.
Like it's not their natural habitat. It's just happens to be that's where they were because they couldn't do anything about it. So I'm to the point where I think they should have been resettled back on Earth.
Yeah, or at least told the truth, and whoever wants to come on board to lead the colony can leave. Anyone who wants to stay on the colony can stay.
Exactly. Give them the choice. Isn't that what the humanity is all about? Give them the options to choose. Mm-hmm. And again, you see at one point, and that's Pike's view, which is what he was saying. No interference. Prime Directive applies. Although it wasn't really Prime Directive that he used, but
General Order 1.
General Order 1 for non-contact, or for non-contact with technological based
pre-warp societies.
But again, you're right to a degree that their humankind. So I mean, they were evolving to this stuff, and it's that one guy
had it all pieced together.
It was okay for him, but the fact that their society turned into a religious, I don't want to say encampment, but a civilization.
Yeah, based. They had a religion built around this with the church, because they got transplanted from the church to this planet somehow.
So, exactly. And, and
it's almost like this alien force, if it was so powerful that it could transport that church all the way to the Beta Quadrant, why couldn't it save them from the crashing debris? Why did it have to lure Discovery out there? And
exactly, right? So, and I mean, once we get into the whole asteroid portions of this, which we'll get to here in just a little bit, I don't see where, like, okay, the story kind of had a bit of a, it was too religious for me. I'm not a religious person, but this is what I got a feeling of, like the first two seasons of Deep Space Nine. It was very religious based, and I wasn't really torn towards that. But I did watch Deep Space Nine, but it's first two seasons weren't my favorite.
The Bajorans were like very religious people.
Very religious people.
They had a religion built up around the wormhole and the the orbs of the prophets and stuff like that. And so, like, I'm trying to wonder, like, where they're going with all this, because it seems like these signals bring them to a situation, a problem they have to solve. Like, the first episode is the asteroid and the stranded Federation ship. Now this one, it's that colony facing an extinction level event. And now, how did you find Burnham annoying in this episode?
Well, almost right off the bat, when Pike and Saru were talking to Tilly and Burnham.
Yeah, Tilly came up with that plan, and then Burnham takes the wind right out of her sails.
Yeah, just took the whole thing, and you could see it right on Tilly's face, going, "Oh my God, I just feel stupid for even having suggested such a thing."
Yeah.
But okay,
your plan is okay, but here's how I can make it better. And then even at the end, when Pike goes down to the planet, that wasn't really his choice. That was like he kind of got like higher wisdom from Burnham. Oh, you should do this, and just like they should call this Star Trek Burnham.
Yeah, like isn't Pike the captain of this ship? Like shouldn't he have a little bit, more stability in making decisions? You know what I mean? Like it's.
And one thing I will point out about this episode I kind of like is they kind of got some of the other crew that you never see do anything, got them down on, like, that one other black girl, had her down on the planet and doing some stuff instead of just in the background.
But again,
so she actually took part in the away mission, which
and again they used her name, but
I can't remember her name either.
Yeah, I could not tell you what her name is, but I mean, she was there because she had a specific skill set and.
That we didn't really see her use.
It just didn't seem like.
Because she didn't really say anything or do anything. It would have been more if she had a bigger role. Like if she had like.
Well, yeah, the biggest role for her was that she could blend in with the
inhabitants,
and they were in the church. They were in the basement. She didn't really interact with anybody.
No, she didn't really interact with anyone. She was there, but she didn't really do a whole lot. The only thing she did was unlock that.
Yeah, like that. And
get him at the basement of the church.
And that's the biggest skill set, eh? You were able to lift up a lock and slide it over. That's even Burnham should have been able to come up with that, don't you think?
Yeah, you would think, but she didn't come up with that one. So. And the other thing, let's talk about the asteroid that was like super heavy.
Yeah.
In this episode. Now, in the first episode, it wasn't, because remember, Burnham picked up a piece of it just in her hand. And they transported it away.
Yeah, it couldn't transport, which is why it fell out of her hand, but she picked it up like it was no problem.
But this episode, like a little tiny marble size, but flat in the whole steel table.
Yeah, after Tilly kind of broke a couple of pieces off the bigger laser. Yeah, the bigger asteroid that they've got in the shuttle bay there too, right? So, like. Again, did I miss something? Did I miss some kind of an explanation
as to why this? Yeah.
Yeah. Why did it all of a sudden become so heavy that it needs artificial gravity generators to hold it? Like that's not what it was in the first episode.
No,
they used it just to
pull it in,
and catch it. So that's more like a mobile tractor beam emitter, so to speak.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to go a little bit further in by jumping ahead a little bit when they're trying to save the planet from being struck by that asteroid field. When Discovery got in front of it, and then they shot the rock or the asteroid out from the shuttle bay. Now, was I missing something, or was those tractor beams?
No, those look like tractor beams, yeah.
So they could lock onto it with a tractor beam.
Yeah, and this thing would have enough mass to pull all that tons and tons of debris away from the planet out into space.
And okay. Now, if even if the asteroid is that heavy, there's no weight in space, so that's fine. But didn't they say they couldn't lock on a tractor beam in the first episode, or maybe the beginning of the second episode?
Yeah, I can't remember. There was something they couldn't use their tractor beams for.
Yeah, there was a reason for that. And then this time, now they could do it. And all they did is they just put it on a guiding course, and then just moved Discovery out of the way, and it just the gravity that surrounded it just pulled all of the asteroids.
Yeah, I would think
away
like how
because
the gravity would have to be pretty powerful from that, because that asteroid's not very big. It's big enough to fit in the shuttle bay, but then it's got enough density or gravimetric density or whatever to pull all the debris out into space with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I must have missed something. Maybe I fell asleep again through this episode because I just can't keep my eyes open watching it. Or I just don't want to watch these episodes. But I mean, God.
Yeah, it didn't quite make sense.
Yeah, I in normal cases I'd go back and rewatch this, but I don't want to rewatch this. don't even just like if the writers and everybody are not caring, then why do I care if I don't want to go back and rewatch these episodes?
So, was there anything at all in this episode that you liked?
No, I just the story had promise, I suppose, but you know, we're not really going anywhere with these. These aren't grandiose adventures like you would get on, you know, Next Generation, original series, even Enterprise or anything like that. We're just
they're going with the overall arc instead of like more episodic.
Again, like I'm not criticizing any of the actors or anything in the shows. They're great actors, but this is what their direction from the storytellers, and this is what they want them to portray them as. Like, again, both you and I agree we hate the character of Burnham. Yeah, and it's nothing against her.
It's nothing against the actress. She's
a very good actor. I mean, this is what she's been directed to do.
Yeah, it's the writers that are.
But I mean, this is just not a.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's hard to make her a likable character.
Yeah, it's just the way that they're going is just not working.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't.
Seems like they're doing a bit of backpedaling, but that's more in the next episode, and we'll get to that. So the only thing I like about this show is the special effects are top notch for sure.
Absolutely, they're top notch, but again, they're out of place. They're out of place with the time period of Star Trek pre-TOS.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like it's just this stuff is far too advanced for what they're doing and the things that they can. You know,
like the hologram communication. They didn't get that until Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, and even then it was just a shoddy, you know,
we're in
beginning stages of doing this stuff, and they got no problem doing this halfway across the universe.
Yeah,
there's not even a hiccup. There's no static in it. They can just no problem. But again, it's just you're. We're not in any continuity again, and that's what's really
there's a lot of continuity violation in this show.
Yeah,
lots of it. And if anyone who knows anything about Star Trek, and there's a lot more in the next episode we'll talk about here. But this and the other thing about is the uniform thing. Aren't they supposed to have new uniforms? Why is Pike in an old uniform if that's supposed to be the older uniform? Shouldn't they be switching over to the gold and blue and red uniforms?
Again, I guess this would kind of be like a piece from Voyager. Now, Voyager had those transitional uniforms from the Next Generation or the Deep Space Nine, where they had the solid red uniforms with the black shoulders and collars with the trims and everything like that, and then they started going into the jumpsuits, and then
they started having the jumpsuits.
Okay. The argument for this Voyager was that they ended up in the Delta Quadrant, so they're really not on
Yeah, there's no reason for them to change. They're
their,
separated from the Federation.
Yeah, so
they would know about a uniform change.
So why not just stay with what you've got? And now, is that kind of what they're trying to do with Discovery? So
maybe
that they can,
there's like a transition period. But
maybe, but if they're trying to differentiate Discovery from the rest of the Federation, other than Pike so far, what's the point? Like you don't need to know. That the uniforms are they're not differentiating between the rest of the fleet and Discovery. So why would Discovery be the only one who needs these old uniforms if that's what they're trying to go with as an idea?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Yeah, I would like that would be one way they could improve this. Make the uniforms closer to what they were in the original series.
Well, like even if we went with like movie, the original series movies, like with William Shatner and the red uniforms with the white, fold over button up sides and everything like that, and then the emblems and everything like that. Like that would make more sense to me. I don't like even the communicator badges if they just put them. Well, I guess they're not communicator, but even the insignia badges would be better suited if they keep transitional to what
they were in the original series. Yeah,
so
to make it look. But you can see they're now like kind of backpedaling, and so I guess I like the visual effects, but I thought this episode was a little bit boring. Them going down on the planet, and overall I thought, and kind of still setting up the mystery of whatever this Red Angel thing is.
Yeah, and again, this Red Angel, I don't know if it's really.
But what do you think that? What's your theory? What do you think that is?
Well, there's probably a bunch of different theories out there. Like there's the one floating around with what was the name? Telosians.
Yeah.
Is that one? And then I was kind of watching this. If this is Spock's visions and things like that. What if it's some sort of a Vulcan, another Vulcan. Image or something to that effect. I mean, I don't know where they could go with it. Apparently they can go in any direction because they talk about doing all these little cameos and things like that, but they just seem to do things just whatever kind of just floats their boat at the time. So they write something down on paper, they go to sleep, and then filming starts, and let's go this route instead. Just that's the kind of the feeling that I get with these episodes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure where they're going with this Red Angel thing. If it's going to be an alien race we've seen before, because they kind of set up with the fortune cookie from the first episode about the cage part. So is this going to somehow the season arc going to end with him with the tied to the cage? And is this going to be somehow related to that, the Red Angels and the Telosians and stuff like that?
Well, if they were going to do that, you'd expect to see Pike on Discovery for the rest of the season.
I think he's going to be on Discovery for the rest of the season.
Not the season, but the rest of the series.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see him on for the whole. I think the Enterprise is going to be stuck in space dock for the whole 13 episodes of this.
Oh, I guarantee you it's going to be. But again, there's no real interaction with Starfleet. They're not really. Nobody's talking to Command about anything. They're just. Have you noticed that? Like nobody's made any really long-range communications with Starfleet Command. Pike should be. If he's having a dilemma and he's got superiors too, maybe he should be talking to somebody, but they don't seem to. Like he got on Discovery and I just got orders from Starfleet and I wanted to tell you in person. Well, so why keep that a secret from the crew of the Discovery, especially Saru, who was in command?
So now, did you like this episode better than the first episode? The second episode?
No, I'd say I'm still in about the same boat with it. Like the first episode I really didn't enjoy it. I guess there's a little bit of more likability to this next episode, but I'm still not like it's still not enough to me.
I think I like the first. I think I like the premiere a bit better than this one, but
I don't know. They tried to go back to like a Star Trek episode.
Yeah, they kind of.
I thought.
It was a little bit more traditional, like where they go down on the planet and there's a problem to solve on this planet. Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed more like with a ship called Discovery. Don't you think that's what they'd want to do? Is go and discover different things.
Yeah.
Like they'd not just put out these brush fires and just look for problems to solve. Just Like
that seems to be the I think that's how it's going to go this season. They're going to get pulled each one of these markers in the galaxy. There's going to be a problem for them to solve.
Yeah, well, and that's typical Star Trek. That's what an episode would be. They have to solve an issue, but
for whatever reason, this alien force is bringing them to all these. How it ties into Spock, I have no idea. One could only guess how they're going to go with that. So with that, let's move on to episode 3. So this one has a lot of continuity violations in this episode.
Yeah. So that's, again, putting it mildly.
So to give a rundown, this kind of focuses heavily on the Klingons. So in this episode, the Klingon Chancellor L'Rell, L'Rell is in command, but then other houses are conspiring to get rid of her, and then it's found out her and T'Kuvma had a baby. And
what was his name? Vok or something.
Vok, yeah, I guess it was Vok. Yeah, had a baby.
The torchbearer.
The torchbearer had a baby, but they kept it hid. And then, but this rebel Klingon house finds out that T'Kuvma, or the human guy, was communicating with Starfleet, and now he's announced him as a traitor. And there's kind of like some backstabbing stuff going on. But then L'Rell gets saved by Captain Georgiou from the Mirror Universe. Now she works for Section 31.
Yeah, no. Does Starfleet not know that she's...
Well, that's the thing.
Section 31? Like, wouldn't when the Shinzo was destroyed and the captain was killed on the Klingon ship, don't you think that somebody would have given a death record for her? Like, wouldn't Starfleet have known that? Okay, if we got a death record over here, isn't this just a little bit off that we got another one here?
From season 1, they know she's from the Mirror. They know she's the Empress from the Mirror Universe, but they just kept her around and made her part of Section 31.
Well, this comes back to another season of another story of me not finishing season 1. So I mean,
because she helped them end the war with the Klingons in season 1.
That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that one.
And so this one, has a lot of, because they show like the hologram of the D7, and this is going to be their new Klingon ships, but they had Klingon ships that resembled that in that
went back that far, even into Enterprise.
Yeah, Enterprise. You could see they had primitive looking D7s and vertebrates back then.
Yeah.
So you could see the evolution, the lineage of ships up into.
Yeah, and now they're trying to push D7. This as a new class of battleship,
it's a total new class of battleship, and this is a response, I guarantee, to all the backlash they got from the Klingons in season 1, because you can see now there's Klingons with beards, and so they look closer
most of them have hair now, and they've got mustaches.
Yeah.
The female Klingons are you can actually identify them as a female, not just, like they were in the first season when they were all bald, no hair. Unless you heard their voices, and even then you couldn't even tell the difference. But
because L'Rell now has hair, and she looks more like a traditional Klingon in this one, where in the first one she was a lot more. So they changed the makeup again.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does it seem like they're not tan color?
No, they're not. They're green, like gray,
like green, or
almost like they're not.
Just something like, okay, maybe it's the lighting. Maybe that's
I think they really are
in the background. I don't know, but
because you can see from the picture right there, she's like a gray color compared to man bun there.
Yeah, exactly right. So I mean, that just okay. Again, we're talking 10 years again according to the
10 years prior to the original series.
Now, but would there have been that much of a skin tone?
They look really
between 10 years with a Klingon,
because basically the Klingons have human-looking skin, just varying. Some are more lighter, some are more darker, but they don't have gray skin and blue skin.
No, and I mean, barring the L'Rell, I mean, she's got great big long fingernails. I mean, that I can get by with that, but when you saw Lursa and B'Etor and the Next Generation, they just had normal fingernails and they had those gloves on. That looked like a better.
Oh yeah, it was one of those things. It wasn't broke, so I didn't see any point to fix it.
Again, this comes into that whole need to have 25% change.
Yeah, this 25% change for whatever.
And that is such a garbage rule. I mean,
and this is what's hurting this show big time.
Yeah, we're really not following anything.
Yeah.
Again, I'd love to have somebody on here that could actually defend these episodes that likes the show. And
yeah,
we're looking for somebody.
Yeah, we're looking for someone.
We want to get somebody on here.
Someone that likes the show, and
we want to hear their opinions. Like if anybody's listening, you know, they're around our area, if they know who we are, then you know we'll gladly bring you on if we can. I mean, it's I have no quibbles or qualms. I would love to hear your own opinions.
Yeah, it would be interesting to have someone with an opposite point. Well, now this episode though, I like this one better than episode 2. There was more action in this one. On the Klingon homeworld with the fighting and stuff, and
a little bit. I mean, again, when they all drew their knives and their batless and their swords and everything, I'm assuming those were batless.
Yeah.
Again, they totally different than.
Yeah, very different
than the batleth. Like, why is it so elaborate, so skinny? Like detailed, you know what I mean? Like, it's just
yeah, no, everything is visually so different in this show.
Yeah, it's not an identifiable. To me, it wouldn't be like an identifiable. If another race of alien had that.
Yeah, if they were a different race of aliens, it'd be different.
So, and then speaking of different aliens, again. let's get back to let's go to Tilly.
Oh yeah, Tilly. What's
bridge.
going on with her? Tilly on the bridge. Her hallucination.
Yeah, she got infected with some kind of a spore virus that's making her think if she's seeing a ghost of somebody from her childhood who really she didn't really know very long.
Yeah.
So again, why would this one just happen?
So I was thinking that was going to tie into the Red Angel. Maybe that was a hallucination they were putting in her head to guide her to do something. And
that's possible, I suppose.
But then it turned out to be like a spore thing, and they yanked it out of her. So it almost seemed like they're setting something up, and then it went nowhere.
Yeah, like it really doesn't seem like they captured that thing in a containment field. Yeah. And again, they just right in the cargo bay. They got a perfect sphere of force field that it couldn't get itself out of it. Banged, it didn't move or anything. Like, didn't that seem a little? That's very isolated, you know what I mean? Like in Next Generation, when they did that, there was a whole beam of light, or a whole beam, like a force field beam that went up right like a column.
Yeah, like a column. Yeah, to contain it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's again, we're talking more sophisticated technology than, you know, we're talking like another 100 years in the future is. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and then. Let's get back to the alien side of it. When Tilly was
on those two weird aliens for like a second making pig noises.
Where did they pop up from? Were they in the background in any one of the scenes that I missed?
They just came out of nowhere. Like, close up of these two weird ass aliens making pig noises.
Exactly. Like just. That's something you would notice in the background.
That's a very elaborate alien that they're only going to show for like
2 seconds. Yeah. Maybe not even that.
Not even that, yeah.
It was enough for the two of them to look at each other going, huh?
Yeah.
And then...
So, now, this whole thing with Spock and Burnham, they were going on that Burnham, and Spock had some kind of a falling out and did something to her. Like, I'm wondering what that's going to be. Because there's a theory going around they had an actual relationship. Him and Burnham, like a romantic relationship, and Burnham broke it off, and that's why they're alienated. That's a theory that's going around.
Okay, well, I have to say to that is...
You think that is a really terrible theory?
Who cares? Does that really have any bearing on, other than making Spock's family weird now?
Yeah.
With a sister that nobody knew about previous to this, that now he's had a relationship with?
Yeah.
Yeah, something just doesn't add up there. It's why are we going to pursue this? Like, it's.
I know. I'm hoping this is not the case. That's just a theory I seen floating around, because that's the thing about this show. I find it really damaging to the lore of Star Trek if they do this.
It does seem like that.
Like, it's damaging the lore.
Yeah.
What we know that came before and stuff like that.
Yeah, I how can you even argue that? Like, that's all it's doing. It's just
that's all.
Now Spock has mental problems. He's supposedly killed Starfleet officers. Now, obviously, we haven't got any verification of that. But why would, if this is a ploy for advancing the storyline, what possible good would that do
Yeah, I can't see it having any good if they had some kind of romantic relationship.
And now he's
some kind of weird incestuous thing going on, and
it's not so much incest because they're not.
But you know what I mean. It would still make it kind of weird.
It does. Yeah. It just doesn't seem like. It just doesn't seem like it fits, and it just for no reason. Like when Burnham was.
And this is the other thing that they,
they're she's recanting the times that they first met, and the first thing she remembers of Spock was him coming to the door and closing the door on her face.
Yeah.
Is that what got her going?
But then now the Red Angel, Spock seen that as a child, and the Red Angel showed them where to find Burnham, and that's how they found her, and stuff like that. So there's some kind of like tie to Spock's past with this Red Angel. So I don't know. I'm wondering if they have a plan for this, or do you think they're just going flying blind with the storyline?
Yeah, like I said, if they've got a story underlying for this, they're not grabbing my attention to wanting to see how this is going to play out. I just don't care. Like this is just awful watching this.
It is.
For me, it is. Again,
it is.
Not against anybody who likes it.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing. If you like this show, then that's cool.
By all means, we're not telling you not to watch it. Just for me, I just do not.
Yeah, everyone's got different tastes in television and what they like, and that like nothing against you if you like the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, now one thing I want to touch on is I picked up on this, the whole Laurel when they pull that fast one over on the council, and she fakes the death of her baby and the death of Man Bun there, and then throws Man Bun's head into the lava.
Yep.
And the setup for that is kind of like made me cringe a bit when the Mirror Universe, Georgiou tells her, oh, well, he's a liability because then all the men are going to think that he's really running the show and you're listening to him. So the best thing to do is chop his head off. And then all these men are going to be wondering why they're not in your position of power, and because you're a woman. And then when she gives her speech, well, you need to call me something more powerful than Chancellor. You need to call me Mother. And then I was just like, oh, come on.
Again, that's the most powerful title is Chancellor.
Yes, Chancellor. Yeah.
Empire. I mean, okay, she wants to be called Mother. Fine. Like that's. Well, it doesn't really bother me, but it really doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit with the Klingon
culture to me,
because they never viewed females as less. Females were always equal as warriors and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So this is like the writer's own bias kind of seeping into the storyline and ruining canon for the sake of whatever.
Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But again, I just.
So that kind of made me those few lines, I just rolled my eyes like, come on, are you kidding me?
I'm just about at the point where I'm saying like they should just stop trying to introduce, mainstream Star Trek alien races into this. Like if they're going to bring the Romulans into this, stop using the Klingons because you've obviously just
you don't get them.
You guys have just forgotten completely what they're supposed to turn off, turn into, I guess, based on what we're seeing. And I mean, Discovery, go and discover some other races that maybe we could show it later on, further out, maybe further out than the Enterprise ever did, so that at least if they went that much further out, and they wouldn't be tied to the Federation, maybe in 100 years, after Star Trek The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager all play out, if they're going to continue on from that timeline forward, and then they get further out, then they can rediscover those aliens and say, this was the reason why, because we had a Federation starship out here and we don't want you because of this, or we loved you because of that, or but then you could reintroduce them into regular lore.
Yeah, you could this is the problem. So this is the problem with doing a prequel with Star Trek, is they always violate canon.
Yeah.
And they always, and then you make contradictions, like with the D7 and how the Klingons' culture is and how the Klingons look, and so and that's the problem. Like if you're not going to make it fit, then don't do it. That's my thing.
Yeah, no, it would be probably a lot better of show if they did their back history on
Yeah.
all of this stuff. Like,
yeah, if they had, see, they used to have that on Next Generation. You used to actually have guys that were lore experts and would keep track of all the lore and canon of what's canon, what's not canon. But they got rid of them, and they don't have them in this show, and it really shows.
Oh, it absolutely
totally
does
shows.
show.
If you know a lot about Star Trek and you've watched all the other series, then you're going to know
exactly.
like, this
and
doesn't fit, and that doesn't fit.
Like, and the fact that they've only used the House of Kor for the Klingons. Like, L'Rell's baby, wouldn't that have been just kind of a nice feature to put in there if they said that maybe this is, the Duras' father?
Yeah,
and then when he grows up, then he has Duras, and then that kind of gets
that
closer,
leads into
gets closer into the next generation. Like, okay, you might be off by a few years, but who knows? Like, it depends on how they put the whole arc together. But now that they're putting this baby on a monastery on another planet who will never know his mother or father, and it's basically you're just kind of like whitewashing your hands of this kid, and then what are we going to do in 8 years, in season 8 or 9, if it even gets to that?
Yeah, are they going to bring this kid back?
The kid's going to be 8 years old. Like,
yeah,
what's the big deal of that? Like, he's an 8-year-old kid isn't going to care.
So in this episode, is there anything you liked about this episode?
Yeah, there's nothing I would pick out to.
The only thing I liked about the action was a little bit more action in the battle with the Klingons.
Yeah, but I mean,
now what do you think?
How long was the battle sequence? Right? I mean, we were talking like a 2-minute fight, and Varel and Vok killed pretty much everybody, and then.
Yeah, and then they were saved by the Mirror Universe.
Yeah, so.
So what do you think of that whole twist with her being a part of Section 31?
Why Section 31? Like, didn't Section 31, wasn't that like a secret organization later in Star Trek lore again?
I don't know.
I mean, we don't. It just, that's the way it's struck to me. Like, they seem like they're fully involved.
Well,
in
remember they used
right?
Section 31 in the JJ movies. Remember?
Yeah, but the JJ movies are the Kelvin universe, not.
But we're assuming
supposedly Prime. What this
Section 31 might. I don't know how far in canon they actually explain how far back the organization of Section 31 goes.
Well, no, that's true, but I mean, when you saw Section 31 in Deep Space Nine, they really didn't seem like they were almost like a splinter faction. Like,
they were kind of like
now they've got starships and they're recruiting people all the time, and like it just. I don't know if they're doing something with this again. I don't know what the plan is, but
I don't know where they're going. Well, apparently they're going to spin off this Mirror Universe. Georgia's going to have her own show, Section 31 TV show. They want to spin it off, have a Section 31 based TV show.
Well, that's pretty presumptuous based on the quality of Star Trek we're getting with Discovery.
I know, like I think they should just concentrate on Discovery and fix it.
Yeah, like I would just put this whole Section 31 on a back burner. Like, the captain. Sorry, what was her name again?
Georgiou.
Georgiou.
Yeah.
She would have been a way more interesting captain to have as a
they should have kept her
figure.
alive, and kept her as captain.
Yeah,
she should have been captain of Discovery and not Lorca right from the get-go.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have done. Like,
she was a much more better character, and then they just killed her off, and then they they brought her back in through the Mirror Universe, but she's like completely evil and like.
Yeah, and again, I don't see the logic behind that. It just.
Yeah, I think they missed both her on a good starship captain. Like,
just
her prematurely.
like she seemed like a really good, like I figure she would have probably been on the lines of Picard, Kirk, Sisko, Janeway. Like, she would have been a cemented.
She would have been a good captain.
Captain, absolutely. Yeah. I would have loved to have followed her as a captain of a ship.
Yeah, that would have been better if they had kept her as captain of the Discovery and not killed her off and not have her Mirror Universe, the duplicate, come in.
Yeah, exactly.
And it seems like the Mirror Universe, that's another ratings thing. That, like, when season 1 was going, okay, let's do a Mirror Universe episode, because that's something that was popular with the old Star Trek stuff. You had like the Mirror, and then you in Deep Space Nine they brought the Mirror Universe back, and then they brought it back again in Enterprise.
I know, but the thing is, the Mirror Universe is the show was stabilized before,
I know.
before they brought the mirror universe in. So
Yeah.
that was a nice thing. Like, not just bringing it in because it's a part of Star Trek, and then we're just gonna put it in right in the beginning, and then as we're gonna write this captain as he's going along, and then all of a sudden, yeah, okay, we're gonna make him a mirror universe guy, and then
Yeah.
kill him off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Like,
that makes
and
sense.
yeah, nobody knows why, nothing like that. So
Yeah. So I guess for me, like overall out of these 2 episodes, even though I don't mind that character of the Mirror Universe, she seems like kind of interesting though, the evil one.
a little bit, but again,
So I'm kind of curious to see where they go with that.
Yeah, until they start doing something with her. I mean, I'm not gonna hold my head up just waiting for the next episode on this. I mean, we did these 2 back to back because we just didn't care, and I feel dumber for watching 2 of them back to back.
So I guess some of the things I liked about this episode 3 was I liked the Klingon battles. I liked the kind of where she intervened and killed all those guys. One thing that was kind of cringy is the whole speech about the Klingon men, and then we got to call me stronger title than Chancellor Mother. It kind of made my eyes roll. The Red Angel thing is kind of intriguing. I'm kind of curious of where they're going to go with this, what alien race they're going to tie this into, and if this is going to tie into the Cage at the end of the season.
Well, yeah.
So I'm kind of curious about that.
So yeah, so you're gonna hope beyond hope until the end of the season, so that you can wait for season 3 if it happens at all.
Yeah.
Because I know there's some hanging fruit down there that they may axe this show, and I can't argue with the logic just to see why it would be axed, but I mean, yeah, we're not getting what, for me, I'm not getting what I want from a Star Trek series.
No, me neither. No.
So
especially a prequel.
Exactly.
And again, the other thing now, I know you don't like the design of the ship, but I do like the design of Discovery. That's one thing I do like about the show.
That's another gripe I've got with this thing. For the 2 seasons that we saw them, how much actual space shots have we seen of Discovery? Okay, we saw the asteroid field coming, then we saw Discovery pop up in front of the field, and then they kind of moved through the asteroids a little bit, and then it turned off, and that's about all you've seen of the actual ship flying around in space. And the camera angles that they're doing in the corridors where they're twisting the cameras,
those
all
weird
upside
Dutch
down,
angles.
and
Yeah,
turning
those are almost kind of
sideways.
nauseating. Those
They are, and
those...
it just doesn't. Again, for me, it doesn't fit. They didn't do that with any of the other series.
No, they didn't.
None of the movies.
They should have shot it more closer what the other ones were.
Yeah,
Shooting style. Instead, they would come in at a really weird angle, and it would twist, like it'd be upside down and twist it around. It was almost, you really noticed it in episode 3. You could really notice that.
Yeah, really notice. And then the interior of the ship doesn't strike me as a Federation vessel. The other starships seem to be a little bit more. They have like a finished look to them. Like they're illuminated, and they're not so gunmetal gray and dimly lit. And
that's the other thing. I find the show very dark. Like the lighting is very dark.
It's again
So,
not a Star Trek for me.
Do you think they're ever going to bring the Borg into this show?
Oh, I'll guarantee you they're going to bring the Borg into this show.
Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, if they're going to reactivate the spore drive, then they can go anywhere in the universe. Guess where they're going to end up? They went to the Beta Quadrant.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they go to the Delta Quadrant?
Run into the Borg.
Run into the Borg.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
So now we're going to eliminate the whole cube doing the introduction of the Borg to the next generation. So
see, that's something they already screwed up once with Enterprise.
They did it in Enterprise,
which I don't think they should have done. But
that would have been an argument, a very good argument to take away from. But I mean, I understand what they did. I mean, it was a downed Borg vessel, and they kind of from First Contact, and they did kind of eliminate it, but the signal still got across, and it was going to take over 100 years for the signal to get back to the Delta Quadrant. Well, Discovery's going to pop up in the middle of that.
I got a feeling now. I wouldn't be surprised.
I can already tell this is where they're going to go.
Because that's another thing they always go to when they need ratings boosts is the Borg.
Yep.
Right? Ratings low, let's bring in the Borg.
Bring in the Borg.
Because they did with Discovery, they did it with Enterprise, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did it with this one.
Yep.
So I guess we'll pretty much wrap that one up. Any final thoughts?
Again, if there's somebody out there that wants to come on the show and give us a good argument as to what they're seeing as a reason why they like it. I mean, don't just come on. If we get you on the show, don't just come on here and go, yeah, it's a really good storytelling, and then not have anything to back it up. I mean, if you're passionate about Star Trek, yeah, we'd rather have somebody like
someone
that
who's passionate,
and give us some good arguments. Like, are we, because we're so biased against this show, like I think we've pretty well picked together that this is not following continuity for anything.
It's not following continuity.
Why are we not looking at the better sides of this? I can't find a good reason to.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
So that'll have to be a future thing. We'll have to try to find someone.
Yeah, I've got a couple of friends that are fairly big Star Trek fans. I'd like them to come on a show. I'll definitely talk with them about it, and maybe we can get them on. But I mean, he's been a collector for years.
Yeah,
I'd love to have him on. If you're listening out there, I'd love to have you come on the show with us. Well, if you can give us some good reasons, I would love to hear your arguments.
Yeah, and I guess my final thoughts about the 2 episodes, I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do. That's my thing. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with Spock and what this past thing is that Burnham done to Spock. And see if they're going to pull a Last Jedi and massacre a character of Spock that they did with Luke Skywalker in Star Wars.
Well, it's already sounding like that's what's happening. Right?
Yeah,
mental institution.
He's in a mental institution, and there's some kind of weird... Yeah, so we'll... I don't know.
Killing officers. Oh, my God.
So I guess we'll end it there. And so let us know what you thought of all this, what you think of this show. Do you disagree with us? Do you agree with us? Let us know in the comments section. And we will see you at the next. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.